Today we're going to continue our discussion on student loans, and specifically we'll be talking about deferment and forbearance, what that is, how it can help you or hurt you, and things to just be aware of if you are going to consider putting your student loans into deferment. First of all, what is deferment and forbearance? They are basically options that allow you to temporarily place your student loans on hold so you don't have to pay the payment at all until you're out of that situation, whether it's having a low income, not being able to find a job. There's different criteria that will allow you to qualify for the ability to place your student loans into deferment. You can typically do these with government loans and sometimes with private loans. So you do have to check with your lender and see what the rules are. I did this for 2 years after I graduated college because I just felt like I couldn't make my payments because my payments were $450 and it was just too much for me. It caused me a lot of stress. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna defer these, and when my income increases, then I'll get back to making some payments. So this could be a good option in that, one, you don't default on your student loans, and that's really important because that could really hurt your credit long term. So it's better to place them on hold than to default on a payment. And actually, when you place them on hold, you're still in good standing on your credit report. Like if you go in, you would see that it's a positive versus a negative, just having it in forbearance versus defaulting on your loan. So keep that in mind as an option. You know, it's way better to go down that route of like pausing your payments for a little while. If you're in a situation where you're just not making enough money to make ends meet and you're really like in a temporary short-term situation where you maybe need to save up an emergency fund, you could put your loans in forbearance for a couple of months, up to 3 years. The problem with deferring your loans is that interest still accrues. With some loan types, you're not responsible for paying the interest while you're in deferment. With forbearance, you are always responsible for paying the interest. So keep that in mind and do try to stay on top of the interest, because I ended up spending $12,000 more than I needed to because I didn't pay the interest through my entire 2 years of deferring my loans. And it really added up. It added up $12,000 more than I should have paid. And that hurt my credit because then I owed more on my loan than I even took out. When you're looking to apply for deferring your loans, you will have to send in your pay stub or fill out some sort of form and go through approval process of getting your loans on hold. In the meantime, make sure you pay your payments because you are responsible. They're pretty fast. From my experience, it took under a month to get fully approved if you do everything that you need to do properly. I really recommend taking advantage of this perk if you're in a situation where either you need to save up some money to create an emergency fund, like I said, and that could prevent you from borrowing money in the future or going into credit card debt at a really high rate. If you temporarily did this, it's okay. You know, you'll eventually be able to get on your feet and make the payments. The other option to consider, though, is income-based repayment plan, because that's something that'll lower your payment and make it more manageable for you based on your income. So I would recommend going into an income-based repayment plan over going into deferment, because at least you're knocking out some of the principal and it's at a more affordable rate than they may have set you with initially. Income-based repayment plans can be a really great alternative before you even consider a deferment. I would really just go down the deferment route if it's a case where you just don't have a job or you don't have the money and you've done everything you can to reduce your costs and you know that you will get on your feet and have the ability to pay. You just can't right now. I would go ahead and do it. But just look at all of your options and make sure you're aware of what you're responsible for during the time of deferment or forbearance so that you don't get yourself into more trouble and get yourself into a situation where it hurts your credit. You want to make sure you maintain good credit throughout this whole process, and that's why using deferment or income-based repayment plans can be a really great option to keep you in good standing with your credit, help you to be able to pay your bills fully and support your lifestyle without having the student loan take over your whole income that you're bringing in. I'll put some links below for some resources. Make sure you subscribe because I do put new videos out every week, and they're all about managing our money and our finances in a responsible, fun way. My next couple videos, I'm going to be discussing refinancing our student loans, the best way to go about that, and just reducing our interest rate. And then I'm also going to talk about investing the money versus paying off your student loan and which one's right for you. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful. Let me know additional comments that you have or questions that you have regarding the subject or any other financial thoughts that are going through your mind. I'd be happy to help and be a resource for you. Bye.